Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is the course of Advanced Phonology, and I'm Afia Mahmood from Bangalore campus. We are going to see these topics today: phoneme, allophones, minimal pairs, complementary distribution, contrastive distribution, and free variation. I'll try my level best to make things easier and clear. If you do not understand anything, you can either contact me or preferably you should contact your course instructors in your campuses. Um, though if you don't understand anything, you are welcome to contact me as well. I will you guys can take my email address from your teachers, plus it is also available in the Google Classroom. So here we are going to start the topic. This lecture is an introductory lecture which is going to introduce us some basic terminologies which will be used throughout the course, and it will at the same time give you an overview of the course of phonetics and phonology that you had already studied in your second semester. So to move forward in this course, it is necessary that the course that you had studied in your second semester, the course of phonetics and phonology, that should be on your fingertips. So I hope that the things will become clear after this lecture. Okay, now we are going to start with phonetics. What is phonetics? It is study of human speech sounds as a physical phenomena. So phonetics is study of human speech sounds. It's not study of any speech sounds. It's study of only speech sounds, and that too human. Basically it has three branches: articulatory phonetics, acoustics phonetics, and auditory phonetics. So it deals with these three areas: articulation, acoustics, and perception. In articulatory phonetics, we see how speech sounds are produced and from where the speech sounds are produced, and we also see that how can we improve our pronunciation in this articulatory phonetics. Then there is acoustic phonetics. In acoustic phonetics, we study the physical properties of speech sounds. We look at the sound wave, we look at the signals, and we try to measure the frequencies, amplitudes, and durations. We will also see acoustics, phonology, and phonetics side by side in this particular course. Now, the third branch of phonetics is auditory phonetics. It is concerned with the hearing of speech sounds and with speech perception. So it entails the study of the relationship between speech stimuli and a listener's responses to such stimuli as mediated by mechanisms of the peripheral and central auditory systems. Our main concerns will be articulatory and acoustics phonetics. Okay, now what is phonology? It's very important that you should know the difference between phonetics and phonology, because in the course we are going to deal with phonology mainly. In phonetics, as we had said, that phonetics deals with speech sounds, with the study of human speech sounds. Now, this phonology deals with the distribution of sounds in a language. It deals with the interaction of these sounds in a language. So we can say that description of systems and patterns of sounds that occur in a language. In phonetics, you are going to study any human speech sounds of any language of the world. For example, if there is sound ma, we also have this sound ma in Urdu, we have this sound in Punjabi, we have this sound in English as well, and in Arabic as well. So how this speech sound is produced, from where this speech sound is produced, this will be the concern of phonetics. If we talk about certain other speech sounds, like now Arabic also has k sound, Urdu also has k sound, English also has k sound. Now again, we also have certain vowels which are common in different languages. We will see in phonetics that how these speech sounds are produced, and in phonology we will see how these sounds are organized differently. Now, for example, if we have three sounds, like we have the sound of ma, we have the sound of a, and we have the sound of n. Now, in English, these sounds will make a word like man, and in Urdu, these sounds can make another word, like they can make me. And so, or for example, if we have we have some other examples. So different sounds are going to make different words in different languages. The organization pattern of sounds in different languages will be entirely different. This is why one language sounds different from the other language. So phonology will study languages in particular, and phonetics study all the languages of the world in general. Okay, now what are the concerns of phonology? Concerns of phonology are of two kinds. They are of segmental kind and they are of suprasegmental kind. The segmental phenomena includes the study of phoneme and allophones, sound change rules and ordering. Phonemes will be the minimal speech sounds of a language, and allophones will be its variation. We are going to see its difference in this particular lecture in detail. Sound change rules in language, we see that sounds in the words change very systematically in the language. That is because of certain phonological processes. I'll give you one example here. The example will also be in the next topics of distinctive features. So let's take the example. In English we have the word cats, and we also have the word bags. Now in both the words, the word cats and bags, in both of these words there is one plural morpheme which is used, which is sir. We have added s in both of the words. In cat as well as in bag, we have added s to make these words plural, but these are sounding differently. What is the reason behind their different sounds? The reason behind their different sound is their voicing, the phonological process of voicing. If you see carefully, the word cat ends in t sound. T sound is a voiceless sound, and which makes the next sound sir voiceless. And if we look at the word bag, in bag the word ends in g sound. G sound is a voiced sound, and it actually makes the next sound sir voiced as well, and thus it gives the sound of z with voicing. So don't worry, we will also look at these concepts in detail, but just to tell you that phonology also deals with such kinds of concerns. So phonology in fact is dealing with the sound change rules and even spelling rules as well to a larger extent. And then suprasegmental phenomena, as we had already said, phonology is concerned with a particular language. So we will see how syllables are formed in a particular language. Syllable structures of each language are different. In English we have a different syllable structure. In Urdu we have a different syllable structure. Stress is also different in all the languages. This is why we sound different than the speakers of English language. Even if we are speaking English language, we are sounding different. That is because of the stress of English language. That's because of the intonation of English language that we are sounding differently. So each language has different stress and intonation pattern, and then there are certain other co-articulation features when we are speaking in fluent, when we are talking in fluent speech, in connected speech, there are certain other features which also affect our speech sounds. Those features, you might have also studied some of these in your course in second semester of phonetics and phonology. These features are like assimilation, elision, and other such features, and nasalization as well. Okay, now here are some examples. These examples are actually differentiating between phonetics and phonology. So you can see in the column or on the side of phonetics, I have written few sounds, few consonants and few vowels. So in these, phonetics is only going to study how these consonants and how these vowel sounds are produced. You will find some different symbols here. You will find some different symbols like this t and this an. So these symbols are not actually present in English. These symbols are present in Urdu. So phonetics is going to deal with all the languages. Now let's see how how phonology is going to deal with these symbols. Now you see, in Urdu, the same symbols are going to make a different formation. In English, the symbols are going to make, so for example, in English, we are going to have the words like car, or we are going to have the word like mat or bat, or in Urdu you can make different words with the same sound. So phonology actually will deal with a particular language. If we are studying the phonology of English, we will be looking at its English syllable structure, we will be looking at English stress, and we will be looking at English intonation. So here are some examples of stress have also been given, that in English we have different stress patterns. Stress patterns, for example, they differ for nouns and verbs. Like if you take the example of word record, if you are pronouncing it as a noun, it will be pronounced as record. If you are pronouncing it as a verb, it will be pronounced as record. So stress pattern will differ in English if the word category will differ, and of course there are many other different rules. And in Urdu there is the stress pattern is according to the syllable weight. We will see it in detail. So the point that I want to make here is that phonology deals with particular languages, and phonetics is not concerned that what is it dealing with. It will deal with all the languages. Its main concern is how speech sounds are produced, from where these speech sounds are produced. It will study the general things, and it is going to study the particular specific things. Okay, now we are moving towards phoneme. Phoneme is a unit of meaning. We are calling it a unit of meaning. Now meaning is important here. It means that if we are going to change a phoneme, it is going to change the meaning of the word. So a minimal unit, we define it as a minimal unit of sound that serves to distinguish meaning between words. Phonemes are the set of sounds we store in our lexicon. Which lexicon? We are talking here about the mental lexicon. In our mind we store that okay, there are these 44 phonemes of English. We know that there are these 44 phonemes of English, and we know that there are these 67 or 68 phonemes of Urdu. So we actually store the sounds in our mind, and we know that how each of these is pronounced. And so you can also define a phoneme by saying the smallest distinct sound in a given language. The smallest distinct, the prominent, or the one which you can distinguish that sound in a language is called phoneme. Here I have given the examples of phoneme both in Urdu and in English, that how changing one phoneme only is changing the meaning of the word. This is why it is unit of meaning. So see here, like if we have changed the first sound here, it will be naam, The actual word was calm, and when we changed the first sound, it became naam, and then if you are changing sound again, it will become sham. If we are having the words here again, here we have only changed one sound and it has changed meaning: bet, set, and net. So phoneme is a unit of meaning. Now phoneme again, it has been explained here in the sentence. Phonemes are defined by their function within the language system. This function is basically one of meaning differentiation. Look at these sentences. These are changing the complete meaning. Like if we say आपका नाम क्या है और आपका काम क्या है, it is changing the complete meaning. So I have given the examples from Urdu language as well, because your outline says that phonemic inventory of Urdu and English of other Pakistani languages, of Urdu and Punjabi as well. So this is why I have taken examples from Urdu as well. Okay, now here we are going to look at the English symbols or English phonemes in detail. There are 44 phonemes in English, you must know that, and there are 20 vowel sounds and there are 24 consonant sounds, and in 20 vowel sounds we have 5 long vowels and we have 7 short vowels. Long vowels are represented, long vowels are shown that they are long through 2 dots. 2 dots show their length. So you can see that there are these 5 long vowels, these 5 symbols with the dots, and there are 7 short vowels. So now we will look at the examples and sounds of each of these, and then there are 8 diphthongs. Diphthongs, there are 3 categories of the diphthongs. Those diphthongs which are ending on this sound, E sound, the diphthongs which are ending on this schwa sound, and the diphthongs which are ending on this U sound. Then there are consonants here in this chart, in this diagram. They have been classified according to their voicing. It is saying that so there are the voiceless consonants and there are the voiced consonants here. Okay, now this sound, the first one is E sound, the short E as in ship, and or as in bit or as in fit. Then E sound as in sheep or as in feet or as in beat. Then U sound as in book or as in full or as in foot. Then U sound as in shoot or as in foot or as in boot. Then this A sound as in left, as in bet, as in set. Then this sound, it has R sound with it, which is sometimes not pronounced by the, generally not pronounced by the British speakers. So it's actually her, as in her. You will also find this sound in search or bird, the middle sound of search and bird. Then there is this sound, schwa sound, teacher. At the last sound of this word teacher or singer, the last sound will be a sound. This is the shortest sound. Then this long vowel here, O as in door, a longer sound. And then there is this A sound as in hat, and compare this A sound with this one, left. It is less open. Your mouth will be less open while pronouncing left and will be more open while pronouncing hat. Or you can say, like, you can practice it saying by bet and bat. Then this is up. This sound is as in up. It can be used in but. It can be used in shut. It can be used in it can also be used in so but and shut. We can take these 2 examples for now. and nut as well. Yes, you can take another example. Now this sound is o as in on. This sound can also be found in doll, and this sound can also be found in doll, and it can also be found in pot or hot. Then this is r sound, as in far, as in car, as in half. So this sound is longer r sound, long r sound. Then now we'll move to diphthongs. Diphthongs, as we already mentioned, are divided in three categories: those ending in e, those ending in schwa, and those ending in o sound. Now there is one rule that we need to remember about diphthongs, rather two rules. One is that in diphthongs there is glide or movement from one vowel sound to the other vowel sound, and second rule is that the second symbol or the second sound will not be emphasized. You have to pronounce it quite lightly. So we are going to look at these, like this is a sound, a as in wait, or a as in Monday or okay. So it is a. Then the next is oi as in coin, as in boy. So the word is boy, it's not boy. And then there is I as in like, or as in I, the I, or for example high. So you can see that I'm not saying it like, I'm not stressing the second part of the sound. It should be pronounced lightly. The second part should be pronounced lightly, like, fight, height. So it will be, the second part will not be stressed or emphasized. Then this is air sound, a, this first symbol a, and then this second symbol air. So air as in here, as in care, as in chair, as in fair. Then this is ear, e and a, as in here, as in near, and as in peer. And then this sound is ua, as in tour, as in poor. Then this is o, as in show, as in so, as in no, as in go. Then this is ow, as in mouth, as in now, as in cow. Alright, now we will move towards the consonants. The consonants, these are the voiceless consonants and these are the voiced one. P, you are already familiar with this sound. P as in p or put. Then f as in free. Th as in thing, t as in tree, s as in sea, sh as in sheep, ch as in cheese, k as in coin. So we say voiceless sounds. These are voiceless because there is no vibration in your vocal cords while these are being pronounced. Then there are voiced sounds. Voiced sounds are b, v, b as in boat, v as in video. So you can see I will only pronounce which is different now. Now for example this one, this is, this example is written here. This is thing as in this is ing sound, which generally we get in thing or ing or sing. Then we have this j sound as in the first sound of joke or judge. This is television. It's different from this u. J sound as in measure, treasure, and this u is as in thank you. And her has been written here. It is sometimes voiceless and it is sometimes voiced. When it is coming between vowels, it will be a voiced sound. When it will come in the beginning of a word, it will be a voiceless sound. Now here is the chart where the sounds have been divided according to their place and manner of articulation. So now you can see that p and b are bilabial sounds. These are pronounced with the help of two lips, and then there are t and d are alveolar sounds. So this is the category of stops and or plosives, and t and d are alveolar sounds, and k and g are velar sounds. Then there are fricatives. Fricatives we have labiodental fricatives produced with the help of teeth and lip. Then there are dental fricatives, th and the, and s and z alveolar fricatives. When you are pronouncing these, your tongue is touching the alveolar ridge, or is at least near the alveolar ridge. When you are pronouncing these sounds, sh and y, your tongue is in the post-alveolar area. Then this is h, which is glottal fricative. Friction is inside your vocal cords. Then there are affricates. In English we have only these two affricates, ch and j. Affricates begin as plosives and end as fricatives. And nasals, there are only three nasals in English, ma, na and ing. And ing is velar nasal. When you are pronouncing it, producing it, there is a constriction between your back part of the tongue and your velum. Then there is this lateral sound. Lateral sound is its manner. This is called lateral because when it is produced, air escapes through the sides of the tongue. Then approximants, these are called approximants because during the production of these sounds, the articulators come close to each other, but they don't really make a constriction or blockage of air like they make in the production of t, d or k, g sound. So when we are pronouncing w, lips are coming close, but they are not actually blocking the air. When I am pronouncing r sound, or you are pronouncing r, tongue will come close to the alveolar ridge, but it will actually not block the air passage. This is why these are called approximants. Now the example words are given here on this slide as well. Now here is a video for you guys. So let's hear the sounds from a native speaker as well. So I'm playing it.
Hi there. This video is a phonetic chart. You will hear all of the sounds corresponding to each phonetic symbol, along with an example word.
E as in knee. I as in this. U as in look. Oo as in you. E as in get. As in the. As in her. Or as in or. As in have. As in but. As in last. O as in not. Ear as in year. A as in say. Ua as in hour. Oi as in boy. O as in no. Air as in air. I as in try. Ow as in out. P as in play. B as in begin. Ch as in take. D as in day. Ch as in choice. J as in join. K as in can. G as in go. F as in for. V as in very. Th as in think. Th as in this. S as in see. Z as in his. Sh as in she. Je, as in television. M, as in make. N, as in now. N, as in thing. H, as in how. L, as in look. R, as in run. W, as in why. Y, as in use.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. If you want to continue improving your English, have a look at our website.
Alright, so here the video ends, and I will also share the video link and video with you in the end. You guys can watch it yourself as well. So now we are going to move towards the next topic.
Hi there, this video is a phonetic chart.
Okay, now here we are going to look at vowels inside their quadrilateral charts. These quadrilateral charts tell us about the position of the vowels. These tell us how the speech sounds are produced. This part where I have written front, center and back. This is for the tongue position, and this part, this vertical part, is for the mouth position. So at this point mouth is closed, at this point, this last point, mouth is totally open, and at this point this position is mid closed and this position is mid open. So this is just sort of revision of what you had already studied in course of phonetics and phonology. So this short E sound is a front vowel because front part of the tongue is raised when we are pronouncing it. This O, this short O is a back vowel. It's more in the back area, and it's near the area of center, but actually it falls in the back area. We categorize it in the back part because at least the back of the tongue begins. So we are naming them front or back because the front or back part of the tongue is actually raised. So these are the front vowels, these here are the back vowels. When we are pronouncing a vowel here, it means that we are pronouncing it with open mouth. You can try. So when you are pronouncing E, your mouth is actually, it's somewhat closed, like it's near to mid close. When you are pronouncing A, it's near to open. It's quite open when you are pronouncing A sound. So the longer vowels, this E sound, when we are elongating this sound, our mouth is more closed than it was in this short E sound. Then these are the back vowels here. This sound, as in search or bird or her, this is central vowel. Okay, one schwa sound is not mentioned here. Schwa should come over here, right here where this arrow is. Okay, now diphthongs. Diphthongs, as we said, these are glides moving from one sound to the other sound, and you can see all in all. So this quadrilateral chart is showing us that E sound is moving towards schwa, there is movement from U towards and there is movement from A towards so for example, ear, air and ua, there is movement towards this schwa sound. And then these are the closing diphthongs ending on the closing vowel. So U and E, these are called closing vowels because the position of the mouth is closed. And when we say it, so it's like showing movement A and I and oi and ow and ow. So this is why these are the closing diphthongs, and plus diphthongs are showing us the movement. Now we will see what is allophone. An allophone is different phonetic realization of the same sound. For example, different phonetic realization. For example, look at these words: top, stop, little, and kitten. When we are pronouncing these sounds, each time the pronunciation of t is different. So when we are pronouncing t in the beginning, it's actually aspirated. When we are pronouncing t after another consonant, it's not aspirated, and now it will be pronounced as stop. Now you can also see there is no that h symbol, h symbol is not mentioned here. Now you can find another different symbol here. It's not that t symbol, so it's pronounced differently. It changes its sound when it is pronounced in this context, when it is coming with l. So little, and it is also changing its pronunciation when it's occurring before n sound. So different pronunciation of the same phoneme is called allophone of that same phoneme. Allophone of that the examples of allophone are also given here in Urdu or Hindi. We have these two allophones, p and p, and we have their allophonic. So in Urdu actually we have these two phonemes. These are not actually the allophones. In English you can see t and t, or p and p are actually allophones of each other. But in Urdu or Hindi these are two different phonemes. There is no phonetic variation in these two sounds in your own Urdu language. Okay, now some more examples of allophone in English. So now we are taking the example of cool. When cool is actually, look at the sound of l here. When cool is the word, l sound is actually pronounced in a dark way. We say that it is dark l here. When it's stilled, it's again different from this l, and when it's lady, it's again very clear l. So we have two allophones of l in English: dark l and clear l. Then there are these examples of allophone: top and stop and lit. So these are the ones which I have already had given the previous slide. Now sum up. Phoneme is the mental representation of sound, whereas allophone is different phonetic or physical representation of the same phoneme. So now you have to think of some examples from Urdu language, and I have also given some examples of Urdu language here. Again, the examples of l sound here. Observe the example sounds of l here in these first two words. When we say like salb, it's like dark l. When we say salib, this l is now here clear l. So there are allophones. Allophones exist in each language. We will say that allophone is just a different pronunciation of the same phoneme. Okay. Next topic is minimal pairs. Next topic is minimal pairs. Minimal pairs. Now, a pair of distinct words differing solely in the choice of a single segment. This is what we call minimal pair. We can define it also in this way: two or more words that have different meanings and that differ only by a single sound in the same position. Here are the examples. Now observe these. We have the same spellings: sat, bat, pat. So there are three phonemes here, but each word is differing only in one phoneme. And see here as well, like sit, seat, and sat, and then top, tall, and talk. You can see here initial phoneme was different. Here middle phoneme is different: sit, seed and sat. You can see sir and ter are same in all these examples. The middle vowel is different. Here, last phoneme, the final phoneme is different, like per, la and ka. The first two are same. So we have to change only one phoneme and it is going to change the meaning. This is called minimal pairs. When we are working with minimal pairs, remember that these are minimal pairs. These should consist of only one syllable. These should not consist of more than one syllable. And minimal pairs are really useful for teaching language to the foreign learners. For example, if we are unable to differentiate between th and the sound, we can be taught this through minimal pairs. Or for example, if Chinese speakers are not able to pronounce the l and r sound, they are not able to distinguish these sounds properly, then they can also be taught through minimal pairs. So minimal pairs are useful in language analysis, linguistic analysis, plus in language teaching as well. Now there are some examples of minimal pairs from Urdu as well. Again, you can see that here the first phoneme is different, man, khan, pan, shan, ban, and here the last phoneme is different. Different initial consonant, different final consonant. Now, different vowel sound. The middle phoneme is different. Okay. Now, here are some examples from Punjabi language. Now, in Punjabi language, I have written some phonemes which are consisting of more than one syllable because I found it hard to find those words which are only having one syllable. So, you can try to find yours. Okay. Now here is a practice for you. You should practice and only then you should move forward to the next lecture. For each of the following Urdu phonemes, find the minimal pairs. You have to try to find out the minimal pairs. Remember, in minimal pairs, you have to only distinguish one sound from the other sound. Okay. So we will see the remaining topics in the next lecture.